Hearing Health on Today, supported by Blackberry Hearing.
You are very welcome back to the show. It was World Hearing Day on Tuesday, and today we are highlighting just how important it is to look after our hearing.
And to help us do that, we are joined by audiologist Katie Lynham. You were very welcome to the show, Katie.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here because, you know, we all go and have our eyes tested all the time and, you know, get our teeth checked and all this, whatever. But our hearing, often we don't think about it.
That's it. And a lot of the time as well, it can nearly be a hidden kind of disability because there's no physical characteristics. It's just there kind of in the background that's gradually just affecting people's quality of life. And that is a major thing for people just to be aware of, and that's why World Hearing Day is great, just to bring out that awareness for people.
And what's the first thing people should be looking out for?
Yeah. So if you're in, say, noisy environments, background noise, that's a big thing where people mightn't be able to keep on top of conversations. You know, if you're finding that you're asking people to repeat themselves, people might be mumbling. A lot of people with hearing loss describe it as if they know people are speaking, but they might be missing the gists of the conversation. TV volume, you know, slowly creeping up, that's another kind of sign of it. Phones as well, whether that be you're not able to hear the phone calls, the phone ringing. For conversations on the phones, or people find that it's like easier on loudspeaker as well. But with hearing, it tends to happen very gradually for the person. So a lot of the time they mightn't even notice it themselves. So that's why awareness for family members, friends, to keep an eye on it is really important as well.
You know the way that you, as we get older, you notice that you might need reading glasses or that type of thing. Is it the same with our hearing? Is it kind of degenerative with age?
Yes, so the most common type of hearing loss that we do see in clinic is age-related. Your hearing organ, just deterioration, wear and tear as we get older, does tend to degenerate, and this can then cause permanent type of hearing loss. So kind of people maybe in their 40s, that's when they might notice subtle changes to the hearing. Mightn't necessarily mean that hearing aids are necessary, but it might notice simple kind of things like the high-pitched sounds mightn't be as sharp as they were, clarity. But hearing doesn't discriminate either. Anyone of any age can get some degree of hearing loss through to maybe genetics, medications, things in their ears like cotton bud kind of bits in their ears, wax in their ears. So again, if you do notice any changes to the hearing, it is really important to come in and get tested just so we can see what the underlying reason.
Katie, you mentioned background noise there a while ago. And this is a small puzzling for me because, for example, if I was talking to you inside a crowded room, I'd be saying to myself, well, I can hear them all the way over there, so my hearing must be okay, but it's just the person in front of me that I can't hear properly. Yeah,
and that's very common with kind of the way our hearing organ does degenerate. It depends on the high frequency, so we get a high frequency loss first. So what tends to happen is that's where the clarity goes. Low pitches and noise, they tend to be similar, so you're able to hear, if you're in a noisy place, the noise and the speech are competing, but it's that noise and it's that background noise that's winning, and it's that clarity conversational side that goes.
No, it's interesting when you think about it because it's almost like, you know, you can still see when you're, you know, if you're losing, not losing yourself, but your sight is getting worse with age. There's a blurriness. You can still see everything, but there's a blurriness. So it's almost the same. You've got an ear here in front of you, and you might take us through that and the different parts of the ear as well.
So this is the ear canal here. So typically causes of maybe temporary hearing loss that can cause by wax build up. So in this little part here, that's the eardrum. So, and then in here is the middle ear space. So a lot of kids are very prone to fluid in their middle ear. So that comes in this section here, and that can cause, again, temporary hearing loss. Your eustachian tube here is connected by your ears, your nose and your throat, so that's how it connects the three parts. And then you've got your hearing organ here and your balance organ. So
what's the black part?
So this part here is the cochlea, and then these parts here are the semicircular canal, so they're the balance organ. So the balance is even related to hearing as well.
And that's when if people get vertigo.
Yes.
They're imbalanced and all that. So we talk about temporary hearing loss. Could that be an ear infection? Could that be an infection like vertigo?
Yes, it could. And sometimes as well, balance things can cause fluctuating hearing loss. So your hearing could change on a day-to-day basis as well. Do you know? So we're not necessarily balance experts, but the fact that the hearing organ and the balance organ are connected, it's really important for people to be aware of that as well.
And I know lots of people who would put a cotton bud or something like that into their ear as well. Do you break out in a sweat when you hear that?
Oh, it's awful. And the thing is, it's funny because on the back of the cotton bud boxes, it says not to be put in the ears, but it's just habit and what everyone is used to. But no, we say nothing smaller than the elbows and the ears. That's the saying.
It's so important.
So when you go for a hearing test, when you go to someone like you, an audiologist, what happens?
So it's very simple, and it's pain-free. So that's a big question we get as well, whether we're going to hurt them, but we don't. So what you do is we have a quick chat with you. We have a talk about your hearing concerns, any ear-related issues such as maybe tinnitus, kind of vertigo like that, ear infection history. We look in your ears to see if there's any abnormalities, like as I said, wax build up, you know, holes in your eardrum. And then we pop you into
Holes
a boot.
in your eardrum?
Yes, so sometimes ear infections can kind of cause maybe holes in the eardrum, or people do tend to burst their eardrum if they do put cotton buds in too far as well. Typically does resolve on its own within a few weeks or months, like, but we look in the ears for that, and then we pop you into a soundproof booth and we give you headphones and a button. And what we do is we test the quietest level of sound that you can hear. So anytime you hear any beep, even if it's absolutely tiny, press that button. The results then are given on a graph, and then we discuss your hearing loss and kind of any recommendations necessary.
I'm one of these people who overthink the whole thing and start thinking I hear the beep.
That's common.
Really?
And what tends to happen as well is some people who have tinnitus, it's very frequency specific. So their tinnitus might be very similar to the sounds that we're playing.
Tinnitus, like...
So it can be whooshings, it can be beeping, it can be kind of ringing, it can even be pulsing in some scenarios, but some people do find it very hard to differentiate.
And what about people, say for example, we're talking about people for the last while now, with people who may be losing their hearing, but should everybody get their hearing checked? I
always recommend it's always good to have a baseline test. As we get older and the hearing does degenerate, it's always good to have something to compare it to.
So for midlife, probably.
Exactly. And like, as I said, you know, you might notice hearing loss in your 40s. You might need a hearing aid, but it's good, say, in 2 years' time to see if there is any degeneration.
So in the last 2 years, this has changed. And it's going to be the same in the next 2 years.
Exactly. And look, all going well, it'll be stable, but there are some occasions where the hearing can get worse and kind of maybe slightly worse than what we'd expect, and then maybe ENT, ear, nose and throat doctor referral might be necessary then in that scenario.
Is there a point when you do need a hearing aid? Because you know a point when you need glasses.
Yes.
Is there a point, and how do you decide on that point?
So all hearing aids really work well when you have a mild kind of going into profound loss. So there is a range, but hearing as well is very subjective. So someone could come up with me with the exact same hearing loss and they could be struggling in a lot more situations than someone else. So I would always advise, when it's beginning to impact your quality of life, your day-to-day.
When you notice it nearly, is it?
Exactly. And as I said, it mightn't even be you that's noticing. We get a lot of people who are sent in by the wives and the husbands to get the check because they're convinced that there's a loss there. The person themselves mightn't even notice it.
How does the technology work in them then?
Yes. So AI is a big thing really in the last few years with hearing aids. I think with every kind of thing, AI has just taken off. So with the AI and the hearing aids, what it'll do is it'll kind of automatically detect where you are. So it'll know if you're down in a noisy pub or restaurant, it'll know if you're down in the shops, it'll know if you're at home in the quiet, and it'll automatically adjust to that situation.
It's incredible.
Some of them as well even have health trackers, so like it can count your steps. You know, it'll be able to do your heart rate, your sleep.
It's like another brain in your ear.
It is, but like the technology is great. You know, it really has become, before the ones you were massive and you nearly having to wear something around your neck with it.
You don't even see the little
Not
things.
at all.
But it's interesting because say though you're at a match, that's a different audible kind of surrounding than it is if you're in, I don't know, a church or you're in, you know, a different.
That's it. And wind is a big thing for people as well. Other hearing aids are better at reducing wind noise than others, so it's very much dependent on the person.
It's very subjective, isn't it?
That's it, and that's why, like, I always say you can't change your life to fit a hearing aid. You have to get a hearing aid that suits your life. If you are someone very outdoorsy, get the hearing aid that will benefit you in that situation. Don't go. It might mean kind of going a little bit more high tech, but it's all about that quality of life.
And it's important, as we're doing here today, just to get that information out
100%.
there as well. Look, it's just not a one-fits-all. There's something there for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. And then, like, in terms of other tech as well, you know, a lot of them are becoming very Bluetooth compatible. So you've got phone calls, streaming music, you know, you can get rid of the AirPods and the kind of the headphones. There's directional microphones in them as well, which is very good. So say, argument's sake, you're a taxi driver, your clients are in behind you in the seat, you can actually have the hearing aids pick up the sounds behind you.
So there's a microphone inside there as well?
Yeah, so you have a microphone, an amplifier and a receiver. So the microphone picks up the sound, it translates it into a digital signal. That digital signal then gets amplified dependent on the hearing aid user's needs.
So you don't even have to put it up and down, it'll do it for you?
All automatic, That's the goal of them anyway, but you do have options of apps as well.
Okay, just one question. When you're starting to lose your hearing a little bit, can it just be on one side? And will you only need one hearing aid? How does that work?
It can. So Typically, we like it a symmetrical hearing loss because your ears are on, you have two ears in the same head. We do like when there's symmetry.
Which doesn't always happen, I guess.
No, it doesn't. So it could be down to maybe loud noise exposure. You might have gotten a bang in the head even, you know. There could be kind of a medical issue in terms of maybe
wearing a certain device in your ear over a long period of time.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you can wear a hearing aid on one ear, but there's other, exactly. But there are types where you might have, say, profound loss in one ear and normal hearing in the other. You can get a device where you can wear something really in both ears, and what the hearing aid will do in the poorer ear will actually transmit the sound into the good ear, so that you can still hear from all sides. You might have
balancing.
Exactly,
And with the AirPods now, are they a lot safer these days, AirPods? And
so I'm in the, you know, when I'm in the gym, I have the notification up to say, oh, you have to turn down your level, your hearing level has kind of exceeded the recommendations. But there is a rule in audiology, there's a 60-60 rule. So what that is you don't have your volume on your hearing kind of devices in your AirPods above 60% for longer than 60 minutes. So that'll kind of help maintain.
We should use that in our real lives.
Exactly, just mute people out.
No, but it's a really, you know, just be practical almost. Don't kind of traumatise yourself.
Exactly,
Brilliant.
and like a lot of the time the hearing is permanent, but you want to protect what you have.
Perfect. Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Everything. Absolutely.
For more information on all of that, head over to our social media pages at RTÉ Today.
Hearing Health on Today, supported by Blackberry Hearing.